What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. So, this is another way to get more people medicated. And if you don't realize that this is just another, how should I describe this without, you know, stepping on the toes of the overlords of the algorithm? So, this is just another way of getting people to accept the medicine and increase the numbers of medicated people. And this new um, turbulent, turbulent pestilence that's in the air is nothing but what's being described as a cold. Because if you see symptoms are mild, but it spreads rapidly. Folks, what are we talking about here? Since when have the American people been so scared of something that's like the cold? And if you guys, well, not the subscribers to this channel, but maybe you know of people who have become willing to give up their freedoms for, you know, what they think or perceived safety. Folks, this is a very slippery slope. Here, you're seeing the propaganda machine ramp up, and you see all these press releases from CNN closing their locations and other places closing, the White House press briefings. Bro, folks, this is all a propaganda move. They want to get those medicine rates up. I know at least 70% of adults in the U.S. have the medicine and are double medicated, and at least 80 something percent have had at least one of the medicines. That's high percentages. And, they keep moving the goalposts. First, it was 2 weeks. Then it was like, oh, let's reach herd immunity to 70, 80, 85%. And now that those numbers have been reached, oh, well, we're not going back to normal. Because this was never about health to begin with. Never was. And what you're seeing right now is a push to even higher numbers. And it's interesting because we're seeing that if people who have these medicines have been seeing an increase in cancers up to 20 times. There's a famous, or not, I shouldn't say famous, but well-renowned doctor based out of Idaho who served his residency in the Mayo Clinic, and he does laboratory testing. And he was describing that he has seen more cancers this year than any of his years as a practicing physician. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that this is serious. I actually know of an individual who recently was diagnosed with cancer. I believe it's osteosarcoma. And it's sad. Now, I'm not saying it's related to the medicine. That's not at all what I'm saying, because there's other factors involved. But when you start seeing that the medicine correlates to aggressive cancers, you start to ask these questions. And I do believe this individual was fully medicated. Now, that's to say that you got to pay attention. All of a sudden, you're seeing the propaganda machine, the fear that's put out there. And you see here, he's talking about what he wants to do to the president is talking about what he wants to do to get more people to get the medicine. And I believe that when he, in his visit to, these southeastern states, I believe, who got hit hard by the tornado, one of the reasons he wanted to go over there to help was to also get more people to accept the medicine. And recently I was reading an article that said that the New York governor, the one that replaced Cuomo, is going to change the definition of what it means to be medicated to include the third shot. So, you see what's happening here? Folks, I mean, it's, when you look around you, it's, everything does not make sense. Let's put it that way. It does not make sense. And people are going along with it because they don't want to go against what, excuse me. They don't want to go against the narrative because they think they're doing something good. And some people, you're not going to change their mind. Right? And that's on both spectrums, right? Either you're for it or you're against it. You're not going to change those people's minds. But there's that middle group that are just kind of going along with it, right? That there is a chance, a possibility to wake them up and make them aware. And this turbulent variant, I guess we can call it, is nothing more than what you would typically get. But what happens, let me make this point. What happens when, millions of Americans die from diabetes, from cancer, from cardiovascular disease? Oh, but, no one talks about their diet. No one talks about how these are more common. No one talks about how people are dying from hunger. No. No one talks about people dying from car accidents. Now, while all these may have different factors that may cause them to be different from what's currently going on right now with the medicines and, the turbulent variants going around, people are still dying from that. But the difference is you learn to live with it. Here it's, you're not learning to live with it. You're accepting whatever they're telling you. And if we had just the policies that and the response to it have been far more detrimental than the actual turbulent pestilence. Seriously, just think about it. 2 years almost of lockdown measures, quote unquote, right? Where you're not able to fully operate. Businesses are closing. People are out of jobs because of these mandates. They're willing and ready to work, but unfortunately they can't because, there's a mandate in place. Folks, it's time to wake up and see what's really going on. And those who are subscribed to this channel are already aware. So, that being said, this is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.